Here at Lumen Christi High School with Coach Brogan, I'm Gabriel Schray for JTV Sports. Thanks so much for joining us. Coach, second player ever drafted from Lumen Christi High School. Can you tell me about the significance of that for the school and for Jackson, Michigan as a whole?
Well, I think it's significant for everybody. It's the whole community, Khari and his family in particular. But it's something that doesn't happen very often. You know, we had Tony Dungy obviously play in the league, but it's few and far between, and just, take somebody of Khari's ability and character and get the opportunity that he's going to get, I think is a great thing. Not only is he the first drafted, I think he's the highest drafted player ever to come out of the city.
Yeah, absolutely. His score multiplied 4 times over from Pro Football Focus on his way through his career at Michigan State. That being said, is it something you saw coming when he went to MSU? Did you think that this was written in the stars for him, or was it just a possibility?
Well, it's just a possibility. Yeah, you don't know. It's a crapshoot coming out of high school. But the intangibles were always there. The God-given ability was there, and we knew he had a great work ethic. So we were very confident he was going to be very successful at Michigan State. And from that point on, you just don't know. And obviously, the point he's at right now is just about as good as anybody could hope for. It's up to him now to go out and make the team.
Okay. You were able to be there for the draft with him and his family. Tell me about that moment when his name was announced. What was that like being there for that?
Well, it was obviously pretty tense because we were there Friday night when his name didn't get called, and he had told me that he thought late third, early fourth, and that's exactly where he fell. But he got a phone call, and they let him know that they were going to trade up and take him, but it had not come across the screen yet, and until it did, you could tell he was still really nervous. And when his name finally came on the screen, the emotions just became overwhelming. I mean, and it's understandable. Until you've been personally involved in that whole situation, you don't get the scope, I think, of the entire process, and you don't get the scope of the emotions that these kids go through. It's certainly set up for television. It's not set up for the well-being of these kids that are being drafted.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't imagine the tensity in that moment, especially for you as a mentor to him and having to go through that. I had a pretty significant bet with Pat O'Dowd, who does color commentary on JTV. He's got to eat some nasty food because I said he's not going to make it all the way through the 4th round. Looking at the situation he's walking into there, how does that look with him and the Colts? Is he going to do very well there, or is it going to be kind of a tough situation for him?
Well, I think it's a tough situation for everybody that walks into that practice facility because you've got the greatest athletes in the world that you have to compete against. But I think the fact that they traded up 20 spots in order to draft him shows just how interested they were in him. I think he's not going to be outworked by anybody there. I think he's a quarterback of the defense. I'm sure one of the things that attracted him was his ability to put people in the right spots and understand the game plan and the scouting reports and the like. So nothing's carved in stone, but I really think that he's got a great shot, and I think that they want to give him a great shot because I think they've got great confidence in him.
Okay, I think we do too here in Jackson, Michigan. As far as the draft process goes, I kind of mentioned it to you before we started the interview. It seemed like it may have happened. Did NFL brass, did teams and organizations reach out to you and ask about his history and his time here in high school?
We didn't get any phone calls, but I got a number of questionnaires, and this goes back 6 months, 7 months probably, where you would get probably a letter every week just to, how about his athletic ability? How is his character? Has he been in any trouble before? What do you have good to say about him and the like? So a number of teams sent those out.
Very cool. As far as what Khari accomplished, not everything is seen by fans, parents, teammates even, and students at these schools. Tell me about the process of getting to be that great of an athlete. What kind of work do you have to put in on and off the field when no one's looking?
Well, obviously you've got to have the ability to begin with, but Khari's work ethic has always been unquestioned. He's got great family, got great mom and dad that pushed in him and allowed him to be great. But he's been in here since the draft. He's been in here every day working out. being around our kids. He had, I think, good mentors, but he's been a great mentor to our younger kids out here. He does the little things. He's sharp. He graduated from Michigan State in 3.5 years, even with all the demands that football places on him. So, I mean, I think the highest compliment you can pay Khari is that as good as a football player is, he's probably a better person. And I think that it's evident to anybody that sees him day in and day out.
Okay, that's unbelievable. Graduated with a degree, 3.5 years while playing Division I football. NFL Network talked a lot about how the Colts moved up 20 spots to take him, and it's because they see him as a leader. Chris Ballard, the GM of the Colts, talked a lot about how they were going to go after leaders and people who were great figures off of the field, selecting mostly captains. What did you see of that while he was here playing high school football for Lumen Christi?
Well, he was a great leader, and not just his senior year. He was a great leader throughout his career. He made other people better. But part of being a great leader is he really cared about his teammates, and he's willing to work with them. He's willing to help them. He's willing to be there for them. He just, as I said, his character is unquestioned as far as I'm concerned.
Cool, fantastic. Indianapolis, 3 hours and 45 minutes to Lucas Oil Stadium. Preseason tickets start at just $6 if you guys are interested. I think I'm pretty interested. You going to go down and see him play?
It gets tough during our season, but we've already got a couple games circled after Thanksgiving that hopefully we're going to be able to get down and see him. And you're going to be able to catch him on TV most weeks anyway.
Absolutely. Coach, 3 state titles in a row. Rolling into the summer, how are things looking this year for your team and your program?
Well, I think we've got a chance to be a good football team. We've lost some important pieces, but we returned some really good players. The work has been excellent during the off season. The kids are pushing themselves hard. We're going to have to stay healthy, but we've got a chance, and going into the season, that's all you can really hope for.
Okay, well, I think I speak for everyone in Jackson, Michigan when I say we're excited to see how things go for you. For Coach Brogan and the Lumen Christi Titans, I'm Gabriel Schray. Thanks for joining us here on JTV Sports.